Okay, so what are my thoughts on the recent Ghostbusters movie? Well, it didn't make me want to leave in the middle. That honor still goes to Noah. That being said, though, it's still not that good a movie. It clearly takes a lot of inspiration from the original movie, but it still tries to be its own film. And you gotta give it credit for that. The all-female cast, of course, is made up of pretty good actresses. I mean, there's a lot of potential in Kate McKinnon, Leslie Jones, Melissa McCarthy, and Kristen Wiig. Unfortunately, they're in this movie, and what they're given is not very good. Only two out of those four are very distinct personalities, namely Kate McKinnon as Holtzman and Leslie Jones as Patty. Holtzman is the awkward scientist of the group, awkward mad scientist rather, because uh, um, Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy characters rather are also scientists, but Holtzman, she's when you see her, she's definitely different from the other two. And then Leslie Jones is somewhat of a stereotypical black woman, but not very exaggerated, and also not that hysterical when she sees ghosts. And there's really very little to no chemistry between these four. I mean, they sure they interact with each other, but you can see there's not really anything there, especially when Kate McKinnon's character is trying to hit on Kristen Wiig's character. It's just awful. Especially there's this one scene where she has this torch and she's looking at Kristen Wiig's character. I mean, Kate McKinnon's Holtzman is holding a torch, and she's looking at Kristen Wiig's character while she's working on some new gadget. And then there's Hemsworth's Kevin, who is just stupid beyond the suspension of disbelief. I mean, yes, this is a movie about ghosts and make believe things, but good God, this guy, this character they made for him is just I can't believe this there's someone this stupid in this universe that they made for it. And yet there he is. Gosh. Well, the villain, however, he's very easy to dislike because he's basically uh, someone who's been bullied all his life, and he's sort of a weirdo, and that's pretty much what people he works with calls him, weirdo. What sort of work environment do you have when people are okay to call you weirdo? I mean, isn't that an HR issue? Anyway, uh, his motivations because he's been bullied all his life, he dislikes people, and his plan is to basically bring the ghosts into our world and have them eradicate humanity, basically. And he expects the ghosts to treat him as their leader when he does that. I don't see why they would make him their leader for doing that. Just that part didn't make sense. Um, of course, this being a Ghostbusters movie, this is somewhat of a comedy. And unfortunately, a lot of the jokes in this remake just doesn't work. Uh, Chris Hemsworth's character, stupid as he is, gets the most laughs. And basically, it's because of how stupid he is. There are some of those jokes that he has that just doesn't work though, and that can be said with the other characters as well. There's even this running gag with the wonton soup delivery guy. That just drags on for the whole movie, basically, because even in the end of the movie, while the credits are already going, they have these little scenes uh, that show what's going on with the characters after all the events of the main movie. They still have that. They still have the joke with the wonton guy, and it again, it just doesn't work. It's not very funny. Uh, and then, of course, there's the bit about Kristen Wiig's character and how she is when Kevin is around, and that just I, I'm I'm gonna say that it's almost cringeworthy, but not. I wasn't there yet. The nice part about this movie, I will say, is that they, unlike the originals, they show the girls testing out their tools, their weapons in ghost busting, and there's a very good variety in them too. There's the trailer showed the 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 some sort of like boxing gloves and the pistols, but they also have this ghost chipper, which was pretty nice and fun to see. It gave good variety in the way that they fought the ghosts, basically. And the the tech was very good to see. The special effects in the movie, well, they're not terrible. the ghost the ghost designs are very unimaginative, and they do look like they're from the live action Scooby Doo movies. Uh, and the the big action sequence at the end where when all the four girls are fighting the ghosts, it does look very empowering for women. I will say that, but it's just very shallow. It just looks cool and that's it. I mean, okay, so they're rolling around, they're making ghost busting look cool basically, and it does, and they do succeed in that. But even if the genders were switched, that could easily be the case. Anyway, uh, there's also the choose the form of your destruction bit, which of course is a reference from the first one, and that just felt out of place because the main villain is the one who says that, and the transformation just looks terrible. The form that he originally takes to the to the to the final form that he has. Well, first off, the original form that he takes clearly out of place from the live action. I'm just gonna say that without I'm trying my best not to spoil anything. But the trailers do show the final form, and yeah, it's they're clearly trying to do something to remind you of the original movie. And even though the Stay Puff, I will say that the Stay Puff Marshmallow Man is in this. Which brings me to the cameos. Most of them felt like they were just put there for the sake of having them there. Uh, they the characters, specifically Ernie Hudson and Bill Murray's characters, okay, those two sort of felt natural to be there, but um, Dan Aykroyd, uh, the woman who played Janine, I can't remember her name, because and those two, oh yeah, Susan Sarandon is also there. Those three, they were just, oh look, there, there's those guys. Those guys are there. That's nice. Uh, Luckily enough, Rick Moranis isn't here because he's retired, and unfortunately, of course, Harold Ramis is no longer with us, so he can't physically be in the movie, but they do have him there. I will say that. Anyway, overall, this is just another unnecessary reboot that just doesn't live up to the source. It does try to do with the girl power mentality, but to me it just falls flat. I mean, did this movie really have to be made just for that? Just to say, hey, women can be Ghostbusters too. Did this movie really have to exist for that? I mean, I'm all for for more roles for women. But even if this movie was all men, these problems would still be here. The, I mean, the whole girl power thing that this movie tries to to achieve, it just isn't there. Sure, I said that the final action sequence is very empowering, but it's just all for show. It's just very shallow. And even then, in the 80s cartoons and in Extreme Ghostbusters, there have already been female Ghostbusters. I mean, I think in some of the I remember in some of the episodes of the real Ghostbusters cartoon, Janine put on a jumpsuit and a proton pack to help the guys fight a ghost. I can't remember which ghost, but I do remember that her jumpsuit was pink, and she did use that proton pack. And then, of course, there's the Extreme Ghostbusters, who has Kylie Griffin, and and I think she's one of the smarter characters in that series. She's smart. She has, I think she's trying to, uh, it has something to do with a dead relative that she has, and she basically does believe in ghosts. And I think if you want to know more about Kylie Griffin and her role in the Ghostbusters, there's also that IDW comics that's going on right now that I think has her as well. I'm personally not reading it, but I do know that she's there. But yeah, this movie just, in my opinion, it just didn't really have to be there. It's not a terrible movie, but at the same time, it's not a good movie. You'd be better to watch the originals, and if you have little girls who say that they want to be Ghostbusters, encourage them. Encourage them that see and tell them they can be whatever they want to be, no matter what gender they are. Because that's basically what it is, right? It's up to the parents to tell their children what they can and can't be. It's up to the parents to let the kids know you can be whatever you want. There's nothing stopping you. That's basically what I got from this movie. What was there anything stopping girls from enjoying the original movie and saying and being fans of Ghostbusters just because the originals had all male cast. I don't think so. I know there's a lot of female Ghostbusters fans before this movie. This movie just doesn't give them just doesn't do those female fans any favors. Hi, Mr. Emi Shield here, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, click that like button. If you didn't like it, feel free to click that dislike button, but also let me know what you didn't like about it in the comment section. That way, maybe I can change whatever it is for future videos. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button, and you will be updated whenever I come out with new content. You can also share this video with anyone you think might enjoy it. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Facebook, the links will be down in the description. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, leave them down in the comment section. I'll be sure to read them, and I will do my best to answer all of them. As always, thank you very much for watching. I will see you all next time.